Hi everyone, this is Ram from Informatica Global Customer Support Team. In this video, we'll see rotor transformation in PowerCenter. The agenda of this video is what is a rotor transformation, why to use rotor transformation, followed by a quick demo. Now, what is a rotor transformation? Rotor transformation is a transformation which routes the records coming into it to a different destinations based on the conditions specified. So, we'll specify the conditions in the group ports, and based on that, it will filter and it will transfer to the next transformations. It is an active transformation. Active, as I mentioned in my previous video, active transformation is nothing but if the number of records that are coming into the transformation is not equal to the number of records that are outputting from the transformation. If you compare like if you take a group in rotor transformation, so the number of you will give a condition, so the number of records that are passing into the transformation is not equal to the number of records. That's why it is active transformation, and it is a connected transformation. Connected in the sense that it is connected to the data flow. I will show you that practically. It has one input group, multiple output groups, and one default group will be there in rotor. Now, why to use rotor transformation? Now, if you want to filter the records based on multiple conditions, so instead of using multiple filters, we can use a single rotor transformation, and we can define the groups, and in that groups we can specify multiple conditions, and we can route to the next transformations. That's the main use of rotor transformation. Now you can provide condition in the groups, and if the incoming record or in the incoming row satisfy the condition, then it returns true, and then that row is passed to the next transformation to perform further logic. And if the incoming row does not satisfy any condition in the groups, then it returns to default group. Example, if you want to filter male and female records from the source file or table, then we can use one rotor transformation instead of multiple filters, and you can put conditions in the groups which helps to divide male and female records. So instead of using multiple filters, we can simply use one rotor transformation and we can divide male and female records. Now let's start with a quick demo. Now I'm going to take the source, and this is a source, so employee id, employee name, employee sal, gender. So I want to divide male records and female records into two targets. So these are my two targets, employees 1 tgt and employees 1 tgt2. Now going to take a mapping m underscore rotor, and I'm going to create it. I'm going to take the source and the targets. Now I'm going to take a rotor transformation. Now, after creating, now you can see, so ports there are nothing, so no ports are passing into the rotor right now. And properties, you can see tracing level is normal, and groups. So coming to the groups, this is the important one. Now, when I add a new group to the filter, now we can see one new group will be created, and default group by default it will be there. So you cannot remove this default group. Okay, you cannot, so you cannot edit this default group. Okay, now whatever the like this default group, the main use of this, when you provide some condition, so if that is not satisfying the condition, then all the records come to the default group. Now this here I am just giving male as a group name, and I am giving a condition called, so here before giving the condition, let me show you the data in the source. So this is my source table, employees 1, and we can see the employee gender male, 4 records are there, male 2 records and female 2 records. Now I wanted to filter, I wanted to add a condition in the rotor, employee gender equal to male in one group and employee gender equal to female in another group. Now these are the targets. Now we can see the targets. So there is no data in the target tables. This is 0 records and 0 records. Now it needs to be loaded after running the mapping. Now here I am going to give the condition employee gender. Now here you can see the ports. So you can employee gender. So this is my employee gender, or else you can simply give employee gender is equal to male. Validate the expression passed successfully. Now the next one. So next second group I am going to take female and employee gender. So by default it will be true. That means all records will be passed. So I am just making female. Validate. Apply. Okay, so if there are any other records except male or female, it will go to the default group. Now I'm just connecting. Now you can see two output groups got created. Now first one is a male and this is a female, this is a default. Now I'm going to connect these two, employee gender, so this one I'm going to connect. Okay, so we are passing only employee gender. Now you can pass employee name, employee id, employee name, and employee salary as well. You can pass to the input group. You can pass like this, or else we can do one thing. You can simply create three groups, three input ports: employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Now you can connect. Okay. Now you can see the output groups also came. Now from mail, employee, gender I have connected. Now these also you can connect. Now employee gender, you can see this is an employee gender. This is a default one. I need to connect the female one to employee gender, and the remaining you can connect. Now let me save the mapping. Now we can see the mapping is valid. Now we can see the mapping is invalid. So it is telling rotor transform does not have any input port. Transformation is not valid. So it is telling rotor transformation does not have any input ports. So let me just check. So we have employee ID, employee name, employee salary, employee gender. Okay. Now male employee gender equal to female. Yes. The error message it is telling rotor transformation R1 does not have any input ports. Transformation is not valid, but we have input ports. So default one. Okay. So from here we are passing. Okay. So employee gender. Okay. Input ports, and these are the output ports. Correct. Now it is valid. So these links are not given properly. So now I have given again employee gender, employee ID, employee name, employee sal, and we can see the from the male group it is going to one target, and female group it is going to another target. Now let me create a session. Now let me create a session. I'm going to create a reusable session. So if you create session under task developer, it's a reusable session. So I'm just going to create as a router, and I'm going to connect this mapping, and done. Now let me give you the source and target connection. So this is my source Oracle, and target as a Oracle connection. Okay. Now if you want, you can make it bulk or normal or bulk. It's your wish. Now let me create a workflow. So now workflow is valid. Now let me run the workflow. Now let me see the target data. Now we can see, so male records loaded into first table and female records loaded into second table. So in the previous video, we have seen the same mapping, but with using two filters. But in the router helps us to use only one router transformation, and we can give multiple conditions in multiple groups. And so that is a main advantage of this. And also, as I mentioned in the PPT, so if you come to the group, so default group, so if the condition that is not satisfying, for example, if you are getting gender as others from the source, then that will go to the default. But if your source is having only male and female, then you don't need to give the female condition again explicitly. You can simply remove. So the male records will go to one tar like group one, and the female records will go to the default group. And here, while linking, so you can just give this default one to the target. So like this you can give, and it will also work, and this will also load the data successfully, and we can also do the mapping like this. So due to this rotor transformation, so all the records from the source, it won't pass to the multiple filters. So it will pass only one time to the rotor transformation. That's why rotor transformation will help in increasing the performance. Next, the references for you, you can see this rotor transformation Informatica guide, and also you can see how to define the what is the use of groups in rotor and how to define the groups. Now you can also see the info support channel. We would love to hear from you. You can give us valuable feedback at supportvideos@informatica.com or our Twitter channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.